Charli XCX, probably one of the most well-known pop stars of this generation. And I'm going to be honest with you guys right now, I'm not the biggest fan of her music. I know, it's a disgrace, it's insulting. But don't get it twisted, I don't hate her music or hate her personality, I've just never been the biggest fan of her. I more respect her music than like it. And recently she released a new film called The Moment, starring herself, playing herself, in this mockumentary style film. And this was a movie I had little interest in seeing. I didn't even see a trailer for it, not even in the cinema or anything. I literally had no knowledge about it other than it starred Charli XCX. But yesterday I was really bored. I was looking through the watch list of what I missed this year so far, and I saw it and I thought, you know what, why not? Let's watch it. And I have to say, I'm actually quite glad that I gave it a chance, because this movie was actually pretty decent. Now, I don't think it's perfect. I do have some flaws. I'll get into them in a bit. But I just really like what Charli was doing here. Basically, it's a mockumentary of what she's experienced. She's based these experiences of what she's gone through in the music industry, and she makes a movie where it mocks the music industry, how it goes, the corporatization of it, how it messes with artistic values. It also goes into the stressful side of the music industry, the price of fame about it, also about trends in popular culture as well. How do they start? When do they have to end? So this movie delves into a lot of different things, and I think the movie did a really good job of intertwining these themes and giving us a really engaging story. Now, as I said, this is a mockumentary going into a few weeks of Charli's life, showing how stressful this industry can be. And it is really stressful. You really do feel bad for Charli. Even on holiday, she can't catch a break. She really does care about the artistic integrity of her work and really does enjoy doing this brat summer trend, but also is scared to let it end as well. And I just love how desperate she becomes, and everyone's pulling her to every single side, just making this situation even more stressful. And I do think the movie did a great job at balancing a serious tone with a sort of comedic undertone in there as well. However, if I'm going to get into one of this movie's biggest flaws, it's not really that funny. For me, there were times where they were trying to tell a joke, but it didn't really come off as a joke. But there were certain scenes that were really funny. There's a narrative tool which was really great, where this credit card company wants to make a credit card that goes towards gay people, which is a very big plot point, but it's very funny, but also not far off realistic as well. And then you have Alexander Skarsgård, who's a very controlling director, assigned to make a concert movie for Charli, and he has some of the funniest scenes. There's one scene especially where he's directing Charli, and he is hamming it up to 11. He is so good. But I will say this movie is really pushing itself to a certain audience, which I'm not a part of. This is definitely a movie for Charli XCX fans and fans of that brat summer trend, something that I really have no knowledge on. So there's some things in here which really didn't make sense to me, but I'm sure if you're a Charli XCX fan, you'll fully understand it. But there are times where they do a great job of catching you up why this was so popular, why it was so significant. I just think they could have done that a few more times. But even though some things didn't really make sense for me, I was still really engaged with the story. And I think it all comes together into this fantastic third act, where it's just stress overload and you have no idea where it's going to go. And I really love the climax of this movie. It's not like, oh, Charli XCX, here we go, we're going to do it for the fans, one concert, here we go with a tour. It's just people on a phone call. But it's very grounded, very timid, and we see characters in a different light. And the final sequence of this movie really hammered home the corporatization of art theme. It's really depressing, but also quite profound as well. But what I really liked about this movie was how it was directed. I mentioned many times that this movie is very stressful, and that's because of the dialogue and the script, but it's also because of the direction as well. It's filmed like a documentary, and it's like the cameraman is being pushed around everywhere. We're in these crowded rooms of people shouting at each other. It's concentrating on all of these different things, so it really makes you feel like you're in this room, part of the stressful environment. And I also really like the editing as well. It's very fast paced, but not in a way where it's trying to keep your attention. It's doing it because it wants to make the movie more stressful and more quick paced, like you don't really know what's going to happen. However, I really did not like this awful strobe effect when they're introducing new locations. If you have epilepsy, please do not watch this movie. And I also really like the music as well. I was expecting a lot of Charli XCX music, but there really isn't, surprisingly. There's like 2 or 3, but I really did like the song they played in the final sequence. And finally, I think the acting in this movie was fantastic. Charli XCX is brilliant here. And I know a lot of people have been saying, oh, she's just playing herself, it's really easy for her. Well, it's not really, because you're playing a version of yourself that's not really you, and you're having to use your personal experiences to drive this character forward. And I think she did a really good job with it. Alexander Skarsgård, he was really good in this movie as well, as this very controlling and weird director. And as I said, he had the best scene in this movie. And then you have a load of celebrity cameos as well. And surprisingly, all of them are really good and they service the story. Rachel Sennett's in this movie for like 1 scene. I really like Rachel Sennett. I think she's a really cool actress. She kills it in that 1 scene. And then Kylie Jenner's in 1 scene as well. She's actually pretty decent here. So overall, The Moment is a really, really great movie about a lot of things. It's about the corporatization of art. Popular trends, when is it acceptable for them to end? It showcases the stressful side of the music industry, and it really does a good job at balancing all of these themes and making you really engaged with the story. It's shot really well, it's acted really well, the script is really, really solid. As I said though, this movie is not really for everyone. I do think if you are outside of the Charli XCX and Brat Summer fandom, you may not understand a lot of what's going on. I certainly didn't, but I do think you will still be engaged. So The Moment is a really, really solid mockumentary, and I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. And there we go, people. That is the end of this review. If you have seen The Moment, do let me know your thoughts on it. Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Have a good day, and see you later.